right, welcome back, and thank you, Shireen. Again, you're still watching Nile Oracle, and some questions really regarding the economics of things here in the region after the US and Israel launched that war on Iran, and after the situation, the very complex situation in the Strait of Hormuz that has seen energy prices spiral globally. And that, in turn, not only affected the economies of much of the world, and leading to inflation and so on, but not only when it came to energy prices. Naturally, energy prices affect the prices of everything else, but also, of course, because not only oil and gas is coming out from that region, but also fertilizers. This is something that is affecting food prices everywhere around the world, and really food security as well. And therefore, some questions began to arise as to how best to find at least a partial alternative for some shipping routes and supply chains routes and insurance mechanisms, strategies and so on, in order to avoid that big rise in the prices of basically everything because of the blockage in the Strait of Hormuz. And the situation, again, is still very complex there. And we will be having some guests with us now over the phone, some economic, yes, and we have with us indeed Dr. Hany Aboul Fotouh. And Dr. Aboul Fotouh is an economic expert who will be giving us his insight about the situation, on the situation. Thank you very much, Dr. Aboul Fotouh, for joining us. Good evening, sir.
I'm happy to be here with you, and I would like to greet you and all the viewers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aboul Fotouh. So, dear sir, could the situation in the Strait of Hormuz accelerate, how could it accelerate the search for alternative routes, again, that could partially, very partially replace momentarily the Strait of Hormuz, and the search for new, again, insurance mechanisms, and the search for more resilient regional supply chains? How is the situation in Hormuz accelerating these potential would-be solutions?
Simply speaking, the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz are not ordinary sea routes. They are among the most important routes for global trade and energy. A large amount of the world's oil, gas, food, and other goods passes through this region. So when ships are threatened, the impact isn't limited to the place of the attack. It can quickly reach many countries, even countries that are very far away. When shipping companies believe that the route isn't safe, they take extra safety measures. The first result is usually higher insurance costs. Companies may also spend more money to protect their ships and crews. So the ships may have to wait for a longer time, or they may change the route completely. For example, some ships may avoid the Red Sea, as you stated earlier. They may take another route. They may avoid Suez Canal. Instead, they may sail around Africa through the Cape of Good Hope. This route is much longer. It can add several days or even weeks to the journey. A longer journey, of course, means money, fuel, more fuel, higher operating costs, and delays in arrival of goods. These extra costs will impact the countries and the importing countries, because the shipping companies will, of course, pass these costs to the importers and then the traders and finally to the consumers. So ordinary people may see higher prices for fuel, food, medicine, electronic products and cars and parts, etc. And factories may also be affected. So if these materials arrive late, production may slow down and the cost of production may also increase. So this isn't only about the safety of individual ships, although the safety of ships and their crews are very important. It's about the food security, energy, security, industry. In simple terms, in order to summarize, these sea routes are like major arteries in the global economy. When these arteries is under pressure, the effect begins at sea, but finally it reaches factories, markets, and family budgets.
Yes, Dr. Fotouh, second and final question. Now, of course, Egypt, like many countries around the world, you know, are hurt economically. There are negative economic repercussions from the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, rise of energy prices and inflation in food prices and so on. But at the same time, you know, every situation, even if it's very challenging, does give you opportunities. So in your view, how could Egypt's maritime infrastructure, and Egypt has a very rich maritime infrastructure, how can it become, how can it help the Egyptian economy and become more important at this time for Arab economies seeking greater protection against the geopolitical tensions?
Well, Egypt has a very special geographical position. It connects the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea through the Suez Canal. It's also located between Africa, Asia, and Europe. So this puts Egypt at the center of trade between the East and the West. But location isn't enough. Egypt must run this geographical advantage into a complete system of ports, transport, storage, industry, and maritime services. Its location is, in fact, is a good point for the international maritime industry. So Egypt can become a major center that provides services to these ships, which will pass to the Suez Canal. For example, a ship may need fuel, maintenance, or new supplies. It may need to change part of its crew. It may also need to store some goods or move them from one ship to another. Each one of these services can create income and job opportunities. Egypt already has the Suez Canal, ports on Red Sea and the Mediterranean. It has economic zones, roads, and railway networks. If these different parts are connected efficiently, Egypt can become an important regional center for trade and maritime services. It would then earn income from many activities, not only from the canal transit fees. This is also important for other Arab countries. The present disruptions may encourage Arab governments and companies to reconsider the supply chains. They may decide not to depend only on one route, one supplier, or on one storage location. They may create regional storage centers, alternate transport routes, and new distribution centers. They may also develop regional insurance arrangements to reduce the cost of future crises. Egypt, therefore, can play an important role in this process because of its location and infrastructure. Egypt can provide storage centers for food and energy and other essential goods. It can expand its role, and in order to conclude this, I see that the more efficient and flexible Egypt's infrastructure become, the more important Egypt will be to Arab and global trade.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Hany Aboul Fotouh, the economic expert, for your valuable input with us here on Nile Oracle. Thank you again, Dr. Aboul Fotouh. We'll still be talking economy and Hormuz, and there are a lot of questions really that come to mind here. Could investment in the economic interdependence become a new foundation for regional stability? I mean, that's a very important question, and particularly at a time of geopolitical uncertainty like the time we are witnessing now. And also, to the same line, how can economic interdependence, again, you know, between the region's countries, reduce the likelihood of confrontation, political confrontation, by making stability a shared economic interest? And many, many other questions. To answer some of them, because we only have like, I think, 10 minutes or so left here in the program, is Dr. Mohammed Kafafi. And Dr. Kafafi is the president of the World Council for Global Economy. Dr. Kafafi, good evening. Thank you for joining Nile TV.
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Kafafi, so you must be very busy at the World Council for Global Economy, because the global economy is really mad. Yeah,
no, it's a green economy.
Yeah.
World Green Economy Council, not global. World Green Economy Council.
The world what?
World Green Economy Council.
Okay, Greek.
Green.
Okay. Green economy.
Yes,
all right, yes, green.
It means sustainable economy.
Yes, right, Dr. Kafafi. So very interesting. We commend, you know, what you're doing there at the council, and we're all for green economy, and Egypt is for green economy. That is, of course, one of the parameters of Egypt's vision. So we're talking about Hormuz, about the situation, which is definitely making things not green. Definitely, I mean, war is against the green economy. So how do you think, sir, could economic interdependence between the region's countries, interdependence between, you know, Egypt, say, and the Arab Gulf countries, between the Arab Gulf countries, and even Iran, part of this region, and Turkey and the rest, how can interdependence reduce the likelihood of confrontation? How can the economy be something that prevents, you know, confrontations and calls for greater security and stability stemming out of a shared goal for everyone? How can we do this in this region?
Let us be specific. Sectors of collaboration and interdependence. And by the way, unfortunately, can you imagine just the total, the percentage of trading between Arab states relative to total trading of Arab states? It is only not exceeding 10%. It is very low percent. It means internal trading between our interdependence trading between Arab states representing 10% from total trading.
How many percent? How many percent?
Not exceeding 10%.
Not exceeding 10.
Yes. Can you imagine? It's very
that's very low. That's very low.
Yes. Unfortunately, most products coming from China, Europe, India, and so on.
Because I understand that in the EU, for instance, in the European Union, that number is something like 70% or even over 70%. That's what I understand. The inner trade. The inner trade.
Exactly. Then, anyway, let us to be specific sectors of real collaboration and real cooperation between Arab countries. The first sector is renewable energy, like solar and wind. We can be already, and the green hydrogen. Yeah. This is one of the very important sector. It can be already collaborated together. We have many countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Libya, Algeria, Morocco. These countries, one of the top world countries, have the opportunity for expanding solar energy, and they can be dependent on solar energy up to 50%. Just with interconnection with this country through electric grid, it is changing the energy map in Arab states.
Yeah.
Another sector also, it is waste minimization and resource efficiency. Many green transition cannot be conducted by each country independent. Never. We need collaboration because most green transition requiring high investment. Well, high investment, it means requiring huge market. For example, producing, very simple, inverter technology, inverter compressor, inverter motor. This technology recently used reducing energy consumption in air conditioning and in washing machine up to 30%. To reduce local inverter compressor or inverter motor, you need to already at least break-even point requiring 100,000 per day. There is no one market can accept this quantity. Yeah. Then the collaboration between quantities, between these integrated markets between this country can change a lot. Really, the problem is not technical problem. The problem is political. It is real. The problem is politics, and because politics and economic, it is two faces for one coin.
Right.
This is the problem. The problem now, political conflict, political disputes. This is affecting the economy. Just the political and geopolitical situation better, automatically collaboration will be enhanced. Yes. And the economy can be improved.
Yes, Dr. Kafefi. So you've answered the question. So you do believe that economic interdependence is very important, but to do that you have to have the political will from all parties concerned, and not just a few of them to do it. But you're saying that in your expert view, yes, this can be done here in our region, or we cannot reach that 70% plus inner trade like the EU, because basically much of the countries of the region import much of their needs.
No. Actually, technically, we can achieve everything in Arab states because we have all resources. We have manpower. Let us see what is the main resource of any success.
Yeah.
Any main resource is 4M. It's named man, money, machine, materials. We have materials. We have machine, it means we have technology, we have the money, investment available, we have the manpower, and the manpower now a lot of people qualified to do. Yeah. Just the problem is number 5, management. Managing these resources together in integrated point of view, not independent. The problem in Arab states, the macro economy not integrated with micro. Micro economy, a lot of industry working independent, working alone. There is no integration between micro and the macro. This is one of the problems. We need the leaders of this country to see the overview vision, how to integrate the microeconomy in several industries, in agriculture, in manufacturing, in service, how to integrate this activity together to maximize the macroeconomy of this country.
Yeah. Dr. Kafafi, you are raising really many important points, and each point you're raising would require a follow-up question from me here, but unfortunately we're out of time. We hope to have you here in the studio maybe in an upcoming episode and talk about this, because again, we do thank you for raising up these. Some of the points you've mentioned are really very interesting. I'm sure you have much more to say. So we will have to thank you now, because unfortunately we ran out of time, and we hope to see you here in the studio and discuss some important economic matters with you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Kafafi, the President of the World Council for Green Economy. And thank you for watching tonight's edition of Nile Oracle. Please stay with Nile TV. Goodbye.